It's a paranoid day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for debunking. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? No masters, no gods in the neighborhood. A wonderful day for resistance. Would you be mine? Could you be my comrade? Come along, folks. I have always wanted a neighbor just like you to do all the things revolutionaries do. So, searching for truth on this wonderful day. And since we're together, might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? My comrade. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? My comrade. Welcome, folks, to a special episode of Mr. Williams' Neighborhood. Now, we're still working on whether we're going to do the ABCs of anarchy over again, as I'm not sure we completed all the way down to Z. I'm not sure. But we could always try that again or do our own ABCs of anarchy, or maybe not doing the ABCs at all and just kind of talking about different things that are going on and do it from a modern anarchist perspective. Let's begin, for example. Let's take a look down. For all the people that I know, let's take a look. Let's stretch them out and let's take a look. Now, you guys see them? You guys see them? Now, these are my white Chucks, Converse, the All-Star brand. These are mine. Now, if you're getting a good view in the light here, you might be looking like, okay, looking pretty good. I've had these for about a year, folks. Had them for about a year. And I know for a lot of us out there, there might be more than just anarchists that this applies to, of course. There may be the trendies that are out there, the tragically hip, the hipsters, things of that nature that'll come along. Oh, sorry, folks. We might see this every once in a while. We got to look and see what's going on the outside every once in a while. We got to see what's going on the outside of the neighborhood. But anyway. So for a lot of you guys who love their Chucks, and have always had an issue with how do we get them clean? How do we keep them clean? Especially when they start to get really dirty and dingy. Now, a lot of us have grown up feeling like that builds character. To have that dinge, to have that little bit of roughness, that little bit of edge to it shows people I'm not a poser. I don't just get new ones. And I've had these. I've had these for a while and I maintain them. It's character. But sometimes you do want to keep them clean. You do want to get them at least not all the way just bum-like, I guess you could say. So, and some people may have heard, may have seen tutorials on YouTube that show the way to clean white shoes is through peroxide and baking soda. Now I will say this. It definitely got the shoes clean, but I can tell you from personal experience from trying it myself, it got the shoes clean, but the price that you pay, especially with your Converse, is that it really stiffens the shoe up. And it really just makes it hard to deal with. And then you start to see little splits and my personal experience here will bring it down to the shoe here. My personal experience is right in this area. You come up right in this area here, you start to see splitting. You start to see it really thin out because of the treatment that you're doing with the peroxide and the baking soda. Now, you're looking at this, so why is it different this time? The difference in this occasion is that I used bleach. Just regular bleach. Doesn't have to be chloride. It doesn't have to be. It could be a regular, generic, nondescript bleach that you can get from, any dollar store or whatever. non-splash preferably, but that's what I used anyway. Toothbrush, old toothbrush that you're not using. Don't use somebody else's toothbrush, folks. Again, I do not condone that. So oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, got some new features now, folks. But I'm sorry to break the sorry to break what I was saying in that one. But I use bleach and just really clean, really just got at it. Use some hot water. Use that to kind of rinse off a little bit. Rinse the area off a little bit more and things like that. Maybe did a little bit of spraying and rinsing. I think I over saturated and wetted. And I think if you're going to do that, if you're going to really spray and put water all over, really drench it out, get it outside immediately, as soon as you can. Get it outside, get it into some sunlight, get it into some open wind that can really start streaming through that as quickly as you can. The quicker you get it dry, the quicker you get it on the way to being dried, the less of a chance you have of getting the browning, the mildewy type of stuff going on there, folks. So just a little tip. I think I think for more canvas shoes, more white canvasy type things, I think that's where you may have I think that's where you may run into an issue with the actual let me rephrase that. With the canvas shoes, that's probably was better suited for the peroxide and baking soda because a canvas, a harder type of material white shoe would basically fare better with the peroxide and the baking soda. This was with definitely such hard solutions and no water to sort of cut into it a little bit. What you have at that point is is really a lot of chemicals that's really converging onto the shoe. So just wanted to put that out there for those people who are like myself, are Converse enthusiasts and things of that nature. So definitely wanted to get that information out there to you. And just also another interesting thing that I came across that that you'll be very interested to know about is that there is another MAGA hat that may be converging. What MAGA? Also, folks, we're doing. Oh my God, another one man sketch thing, folks. Alternatino with Arturo Castro. I'm hearing about here. So another sketch show, maybe Mind of Mencia, maybe. Who knows? You know, maybe we'll save this up here but anyway, like I was saying, a new MAGA hat may be emerging, folks. Now, of course, we know about the Make America Great Again, you know, but but then again, it also plays into that thing of when was America really great? Maybe when there was a republic, maybe America was a little greater because you had more space for people to be represented. Again, folks, just look it up, question everything. But when you think about the phrase that was made famous in history, no taxation without representation, what does that mean? What he essentially was saying is, if we're not represented in this government, in in politics, if we're not represented, then how can you tax us? How can you make us pay taxes towards a government, towards a system where there's no one representing our best interests? So no taxation without representation. Unless we're represented the way we need to be, we're not going to give you our money. That was the big issue. So the Republic back at that time were considered the good guys. Democrats were considered the bad guys because they were supposedly more about preserving slavery and things of that nature. So, and I mean, I guess in a way, it makes sense, but it's all about the way politics shifts. I can only say that the Republic at that time is what I can say is at this point is that that maybe at that time, because see, Democrats and Republicans, they weren't an entity unto themselves. It was the Republic. It was simply the Republic. There was no Republic and then the Democratic. It was the Republic. The Republic was been made it where you could be represented by someone. You vote for a person that you feel like can represent your best interest. Someone else represent a representative. That's where you get the representatives from. But then it became in the democracy. Excuse me. In a democracy, it became a situation where whatever the majority of the people, whoever the majority of the people voted for, like I could vote, like 20 people could vote for candidate A. 20 people can vote for candidate B, 25 people can vote for candidate C in the Republic. And those people will be voted, you know, because there will be a ton of people campaigning for different areas and for different interests. They would represent. So if you had a certain people who wanted to make sure that there were people that we could agree to pool money together in case, we run on hard times. When we run on hard times, we need to help someone, we can help them. We have the resources available to help them. And you have people I'm going to represent, I'll make sure that gets done. And if somebody else says I'm representing, make sure that gets done, they'll vote for who the person they feel like will definitely do that and get it done. That's their candidate. That's candidate B. Candidate A, make sure that people are able to get fair living conditions and things like that. And the other person may get fair work. So there's different people that represent different things. So they vote for the person that they feel like will represent that particular aspect best. And then you have the representatives. And then the people are taxed, for what they make and what they do based on, based on the fact that, hey, there's someone representing your interests. So now, that person's representing your interests and they're going to take care of what you want taken care of. So now you pay taxes and you make sure that those things can be taken care of for you. But when the democracy happened, it changed things completely. So I feel like it was organic back then. Yes, the Democrats were the bad guys. They wanted to keep slavery. They were more connected to the South. The Republic were more connected probably to the North, most likely. They were more in the new world of the situation and thinking, okay, we can have different people represented, different interests represented, but the people who were more into democracy didn't want that. So when the shift happened, and then all of a sudden democracy became the good thing to do, they made sure that the republic would be seen as a bad thing, and you would never want to be a Republican ever again. And then there's some people that were talking will push a conversation based on that. And they will say, well, that's the real Republic back in the day. But no, that was the Republic back in the day. But the fact of the matter is that that's no longer the Republic of right now. They ensured that the people that they put in place, the people who now are part of the Republican Party, are ensuring that people will never see it quite the way it was, so long ago. And that's just the truth of the matter. So how can I put this? So the best thing I guess can be said at this point is that I certainly don't vote simply because because I feel like there's no point to it. Right now, I feel like there's no point, but I feel like if we had a republic, there would be a point. I could elect someone who would truly represent my interests. And that would be something that you could get behind and you can vote and you can, you know, but that's what we're dealing with right now with making America great. And, was it truly great? Maybe it could have had some connections to being great back in the time there was a republic, but, you know, but then, so what MAGA could it be? Could it be Make America Green Again? America's never quite the greenest place. I mean, it was definitely a lot more greenery, a lot more, grassland, tree area, things of that nature, rainforest. maybe we could make America green again, but not quite. It's not quite. Maybe make America go again, make America grow again. I mean, it's always growing. You know, it's always growing. Um, make America gay again. Okay, well, if you look way back, there were some people back in the day who were marching and protesting and really getting up in arms for, you know, say gay rights and things of that nature. So, who knows? But we'll stop playing with this. The MAGA hat that I had the privilege of being, I guess, put onto, pun intended, put onto, was the Make Anarchy Great Again hat. I kind of like it. I have to admit, kind of like it. I just think that it's just fun. It takes a play on the Make America Great Again. And I think I think it still goes back to that. I think in a way, making America great again would be making anarchy great again, because anarchy was able to best flourish in its own way when there was a republic. People can make a choice to live in the world and not be represented by anyone. They're making their own way. Doesn't mean they have to go and live out in the wilderness, but they're out there. Okay, look, they're out there, they're working, they're earning money, they're paying things, they're doing what they need to do, but they're not relying on the government to help them out. They're taking care of the things they need to take care of. And it can be allowed, and no one's making you feel like there's something wrong or you have to be excluded from everything if you're going to be excluded from government, from government inclusion into your life. So I think make anarchy great again. I think that could be making America great again. I mean, it's all about the way you look at it. Making anarchy great again would show a true freedom that was once in this country. When we had the republic, there was a true freedom there. You really had people that worked. You had representatives that truly worked for the people. We elected you. You know for sure that if you didn't do the right thing for the people that you were chosen to represent, that they would have plenty of other people that will come right in and would say they're going to make that happen. They'll vote you right out, vote somebody else right in, and they'll get somebody. Now it's getting to the point where people want to feel like they have a dynasty in politics, honestly. Where it's like they want the same guy voted in year after year or term after term after term. Because the thing with, for some reason with Congress, that's just not even with the president, but the thing about being in with Congress, that's forever. Like you can be a governor for a certain term, mayor, everything like that, but to be in Congress, of course, there's a certain time that you vote and everything like that. There's somebody, but it's like if that person gets voted, they can keep on running and just keep on running. Bobby Scott, that's a perfect person that I can speak of here in Virginia. I mean, I'm telling you, ever since I was a young kid, little young guy, little guy, Bobby's, as far back as I can remember and form thought, I can remember Bobby Scott being in Congress year after year, year after year, year after year, year after year. I'm a person who lived in Newport News, Virginia, in different spaces for about all my life. And I can definitely tell you that I haven't seen much change. And then I wonder, why do people keep electing him? Then even at one point, as I was older, I was 18, 19 years old. I was doing Exclusive magazine back at that time. And it was right around the point of time that a female, a African American female Republican by the name of Winsome Sears ran against Bobby Scott for Congress here. So I figured, wow, African American woman, but she happens to be Republican. I did an interview. She actually did an interview with me, came to my home. She came to my home, did an interview. You know, she had a lot of energy. She was really trying to push and really trying to show people that she could really offer something different. And she seemed to could. She was really willing to speak about things a lot of people weren't willing to speak about, even the Electoral College and things of that nature. I definitely felt like I actually, one the few times that I actually voted for her. You know, I actually voted for her. But she lost because so many people were still voting for Bobby Scott. And it's just like, what do you do? You know, what do you do about stuff like this? What do you do? You know, George Carlin, the great George Carlin, says that if you don't vote, that if you vote, you don't have the right to complain because you voted this person in. You know, you voted this person in. So you don't have the right to complain. If they lie, if they don't do what they, what they said they were going to do, what they promised you, you don't have the right to complain. You voted them in. What's the solution? You know, you open up the situation, you have less government, you have representation, you have different people. I mean, Congress wouldn't be, like I said again, the Republic, the Republic wouldn't be so bad with Congress right now. Then you have those people voted in, things of that nature. I mean, it would be a much different situation. Those people would not have fear. I mean, those people would have more fear about their jobs and about doing a good job for us. They would have more fear about that because they know, once again, that we will vote them out and bring somebody else right in who would make sure that they will represent the way we need them to be represented, the way we need our interests represented. But let's just see here. Let me take a moment here. And we have to, but like I was saying before, folks, like I was telling you before when I did the special preview, so now it's official. We're now officially, Mr. Williams' Neighborhood has officially made its home on Delinquent Studios. This is the first. Can we say the first episode? But we can definitely say this is the official. This is the first official episode done on here. So with that being said, let's see what we got. Well, I think it's a good thing that we have this situation going on here because it looks like we may not get the 420 going on. We'll just have to see. Okay, let's see what we have. Do apologize, folks, about the. Do apologize about the actual break in. Do apologize about the break in information here and talking. Let's see, not much. Not much is really trending right now. Let's see. Might have to check Twitter and see what's going on there. Hmm. Oh, well, folks, not a whole lot of great things trending here, but I guess you can say, for those of you who are conspiracy theorists and who may feel like Jay-Z is part of the Illuminati or Boule or whatever, he's now become a billionaire now, so I guess he's officially part of the Billionaire Boys Club, even if the inventor of those shirts, Pharrell, may not actually be a billionaire as of yet. Jay-Z certainly seems to be. So we have that. I also, let's see here. We got to start working in some characters, folks. We're going to start doing that pretty soon. I'm going to start working in characters, but oh my God, I shouldn't talk about what I'm going to do. I should just do it, just like I'm doing this show here, the way I want to do this show. But at any rate, let's see. Let's see what else we got here, folks. Oh boy, I don't even know. Oh, now this is interesting. Now this could be very interesting here. The FDA confirms. I'm definitely not used to the FDA confirming much of anything. The FDA confirms PFAS chemical are in the U.S. food supply. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration confirmed that PFAS chemicals have made their way into the U.S. food supply on Monday. The FDA publicly acknowledged the initial findings of the agency's investigation into how the forever chemicals have been detected in the foods we eat. PFAS is a family of nearly 5,000 synthetic oh boy, sorry. Let's start that again, folks. PFAS is a family of nearly 5,000 synthetic chemicals that are extremely persistent in the environment and in our bodies. PFAS is short for, here we go, perfluoroalky, perfluoroalky, and polyfluoroalkyl substances, and includes chemicals known as PFOS, PFOA, and Gen X, sometimes called forever chemicals. These chemicals all share signature elemental bonds of fluorine and carbon, which are extremely strong and difficult to break down in the environment and in our bodies. EPA head says clean water access is biggest environmental threat. Despite regulation rollbacks, these chemicals can easily migrate into the air, dust, food, soil, and water, and can accumulate in the body. They have been linked to the adverse health impacts, including liver damage, thyroid disease, decreased fertility, high cholesterol, obesity, hormone suppression, and cancer. In the body, PFAS chemicals primarily settle into the blood, kidney, and liver. A study from 2007 by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimated that PFAS chemicals could be detected in the blood of 98% of the U.S. population. FDA reveals PFAS findings that PFAS chemicals have been used by various industries because of their ability to repel oil, and water. They've been manufactured since the 1940s and can be found in nonstick products, stains, paints, cleaning products, food packaging, and firefighting foams. The results of the FDA investigation were initially presented by the agency at the 29th Annual European Meeting of the Society of Environmental Toxicology and Chemistry in Helsinki last month. The images of the FDA's presentation at the meeting were first obtained by the advocacy group Environmental Defense Fund and published by the Environmental Working Group. The agency confirmed that the images were produced by the FDA. The findings are now being presented on a newly updated FDA website about PFAS that is to be released this week. The FDA provided CNN with an advanced copy of the website text. Due to potential health concerns related to these chemicals, the FDA is working to better understand the potential dietary exposure to PFAS, the website will say. The FDA tested a dairy farm near a U.S. Air Force base where firefighting foams containing PFAS have been used. According to the FDA, area water samples tested 35 times greater than the current U.S. Environmental Protection Agency health advisory of 70 parts per trillion. The researchers analyzed 13 samples from the dairy farm, including water, animal feed, and 5 actual milk samples. All 13 samples had detectable levels of PFAS that were of similar chemical structure as what was used in firefighting foams. The FDA said the samples were determined to a human health concern, and all milk from the farm was discarded. The FDA noted that even after the cows are no longer exposed to the PFAS contaminated water or feed, the accumulated chemicals can remain in the cow. Just 30 days of eating and drinking contaminated food and water will require 1.5 years for a cow to rid themselves of the chemicals. The FDA also analyzed produce samples from farms close to a PFAS manufacturing plant. The produce was sold at local farmers markets. Okay, let me actually read and stop assuming. According to the FDA, area water wells are known to be contaminated with the PFAS known as Gen X. Of the 20 produce samples tested, 16 were leafy greens such as lettuce, cabbage, kale, and collard greens. Among those, 15 showed detectable levels of PFAS. According to the FDA, samples were determined not likely to be a human health concern. The agency also tested 91 samples of foods collected as part of the FDA's 2017 Total Diet Study. The study is an ongoing FDA program that monitors about 800 contaminants and nutrients that are in the average U.S. diet. As part of this program, the FDA's Center for Food Safety and Applied Nutrition buys, prepares, and analyzes about 280 different foods and beverages from across the country 4 times a year. According to the website provided to CNN, 10 of 91 foods tested had detectable levels of PFAS, but at levels not considered to be of human health concern. Now, folks, I can definitely say first off that I am glad that it seems that at least to some degree, the FDA is working to address some of the issues that are certainly going to keep approaching as we allow chemicals, medication, foods to get out there and as we allow certain chemicals and foods to mix in with people, folks. The USDA has to change. The FDA has to change. They have to get those corporate cronies out of those positions and get people who are health professionals, who are nutritionists, true nutritionists, who are scientists, people who are really about advancing the science, but also about doing it responsibly. We need those people in those positions. We do not need people who will only serve the interest, because unless you're talking about every single person, including Hillary Clinton, or Hillary Rodham at that time. I'm not sure. I forget if she was married to Bill, but so while she was still working at Monsanto, along with Clarence Thomas, working at Monsanto as legal counsel. But we need to get that type of cronyism out of here. So unless you're saying all of those people, including Clinton and Thomas, just left under very, very acrimonious terms, very tense terms, then, what reason do we have to think that they wouldn't work or move in the best interest of their former company that paid them probably millions of fucking dollars in Monsanto? This is what we have to get across here, folks. This is what we have to deal with in being a modern anarchist today. I would like to be able to live in a world where, where it's more like my neighborhood, where we don't have to deal with the government. We don't have to deal with the cops. We don't have to deal, with, let me tag that down, no more of those. And we're going to have to gap that out. But we don't have to deal with a lot of the state in our face, the state bothering what we do. We don't have to deal with that. So, but I guess it's hard, folks. I would love to live in a world where I barter with people, my skills, what I could offer, what could best help the community as a whole. You If I could work my skills and trade with your skills and make a better situation. Hey, you're an electrician. You can get us electricity over here. Hey, you make bread, you make food. You can help make food while this person helps fix things for people. This person makes sure that the water's running right and things of that nature. These are the things that I feel like that, if we had that type of system again, and of course, money is always good. Currency is always a way, because sometimes you're going to have people who are going to want currency and need currency and to interact with other people in other spaces that you volunteer to interact with them in. They're going to want to use currency. But okay, but just a little sample of my own. Let's go with a B, with my own personal B in the ABCs of anarchy. Just giving a little sample here, folks, to see if we want that or not. To see if it's still viable today. Let's see. Wow. Some very interesting B words right when you look right at the beginning. So let's see. Wow. The first one that we start with in this particular dictionary that I have is babble. And babble is to well, let's start. I don't want to go and actually babble, but I want to give you the actual full distinct definition of babble, which is talk indistinctly or foolishly, make a murmuring sound. So there's two ways to babble by this count. By this book that I've kept for like, oh my God, I probably was since I was a teenager, man. I probably had this dictionary. But anyway, so babble. So it's two ways you can babble. So you can murmur when you're talking over here, man. It's all this bullshit and fucking state bullshit over here, like that. Fucking assholes and when you kiss my ass, taking shit more like that. Or you can sit here and just babble and you can just talk and just say things like when someone's drunk. Most times when people are drunk is when they tend to babble a lot. Where they're saying things like, yeah, I'm just I'm living life, man. Just yeah, doing what I'm doing, and just But some people do that and they're not even drunk because when a conversation really starts to flow and people really start to raise the level of it a little bit, and you're required to really say something meaningful, some people can't do that, and so they just spout words out and they say things. You know, I would like to incorporate some new characters. Who should they be? I'm always open to, you know, excuse me, folks. I apologize. Like having the character that we had before. A you know, we'll put that nickname out there, but of course, we just won't do that. But we had a certain character that we had up there that it was really more of an experiment. I use that person to show people this is in Mr. Williams' neighborhood. We have a person that sort of reflects what the overall outside world is like. And so you have to learn how to deal with that person, how to navigate around that particular person, because you just never know. Because you never know. Because you never know when you might have to face up to a person like that, that doesn't, that they don't read and they don't do this and they don't do that. And they don't care about anything except what goes on in their own particular space. And they don't, because they don't have an understanding that if you don't care about what's going on in other places, Martin Luther King is famous for saying an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So that's what we have. So that means if you know there's another country out there where someone's being treated oh so badly, they're being treated oh so badly here. And you think that, hey, it's not happening here in my country, it's not happening here in my state. So what do I have to worry about? What, me worry? What do I have to worry about that for? Then that's when you start to realize, folks, that you're dumbing yourself down, you're fattening yourselves up, you're just putting yourselves into a coma-like state for when they do come to your door, when they do come to your state, when they do come to when they do come to your city and they start fucking with you, you're not gonna put up much of a fight because you weren't ready. You weren't ready to know that you're going to fight. Well, because when you care deeply in your heart about the way someone else is being affected in a place, from Rome, I'm saying, I'm saying, from Baltimore to Rome. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Why do I have it? I need to get that picture up. But it was a picture that was letting them know. I think it was like Nice. I'm saying, from Baltimore to Nice, fuck the police. I believe it was. It was just basically showing people that, look, from whatever country, whatever continent, we can stretch out because we understand what it's like. We understand what it's like to deal with an oppressive government that doesn't, that doesn't respect you, that, I'm saying, that wants to keep you down, that wants to keep you silent. We understand that. And so it's when you start to understand that, wow, do I have a little something here? Sorry. But it's when you start to understand that, folks, is that when people know you're going to put up a fight, when they know you don't care, when they know that you just, hey, unless, and it's like the thing that you start to realize at that point is that by the time it's at your door, it's in your city. By the time you realize that your rights are being taken away, it's too late. By the time people are agreeing behind your back to do things, and decide what's best for your life, it's too late. That's what it is, folks. Sorry for the bright light. We got some more natural lighting in here as we deal with the day. As we deal with the day and we move around our house. I like to do that, folks. Mr. Rogers did that. We're going to create more of a neighborhood that's going to, show some things. It's going to show some inspirations, that hopefully will, yes, will there be some possible Mr. Rogers inspirations that we can draw from, that we'll look at and draw from? You can't do that on television. Inspiration that we'll draw from? Absolutely. Bet some people miss that. But, we spaced that out though. See, that was but we spaced that out. Just, we're just stretching our legs out, flexing our muscles here, folks. Just letting you know, for those who will see this, that Mr. Williams' neighborhood is now official. We will get funnier. This will have more fun. We'll have more characters and things like that. But we're going to start off the way we're going to start off with me. Got to do it. I love what we're doing. And about this time, hopefully, I don't know how much time I will have. That's why I almost didn't want to do this here. But every once in a while, we just might. So maybe just in case, it's getting to that point. And Mr. Williams is an anarchist. No gods, no masters. Don't want any big brother, having any say or pull over my life. And so we do what we do. And it's at the homage. Who knows? Mr. Williams' neighborhood is not going to be a kid situation. It could be. But in a way, so it could be something that could vary up. That could vary up where I could talk to the kids, give them a little bit more knowledge, give them a little bit more respect. I think that when you do that, I think the kids are better off for it. I feel like I was. I truly do. I truly feel like I was the better because my mother gave me the respect to trust in me. Hey, there may be some shows that are questionable, some movies that might have been questionable for my age, but she trusted that if I didn't go out there and go blabby to everyone about that, or go trying to enact certain things that would make other people uncomfortable. See, she knew at that point, when I didn't do things like that, she knew at that point, okay, I can trust him. He won't be out here acting foolish as a result of because he just saw this movie. So I think that's a good thing. So it could be something that if I really want to do something for the kids, if I really want to do a little something more for the kids and things like that, that could be something that could definitely be done. But I just want to close out a little bit real quickly before we go in the closing theme song. But I just want to quickly state that the reason why I brought that article is because, it's very interesting. I hardly ever hear about the FDA really speaking up on anything and really speaking on things that could be hazardous to the population. Now, whether that was just motivated because they couldn't continue to bury this information, or could it be the fact that they're maybe getting some people in there that actually care and that are actually looking into these things, or there are people out there that are making them care and putting this information in their face and saying this is what's happening to people. So, but whatever the case, I am not an enemy of science. I'm not an enemy of progress, but I am an enemy of corporations that will take a special interest in pharmaceuticals, in science, and use it to further their own interests, and don't want anybody standing in their way to doing their checks and balances on what's going on with the products that they're putting out there to people. It's still important that people are not harmed while they're taking these treatments. It shouldn't just be all about, it's the treatment. Get over it. You're being treated for something. get over it. You know what I'm saying? Deal with it and deal with the side effects. Sometimes these side effects are just way, 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 way too much. I mean, just way over the line, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion. And folks, it is 420. So while we may not officially have the podcast up, we still pay our special homage to 420, folks. Got to do it. Got to do it. And here at Universal Studios, we are definitely big, big proponents of the 420 culture and what that entails. We're definitely big proponents of that. April 20th, we celebrate 420. You know what I'm saying? 420. When the time turns 420, yeah, we're giving a big shout out on that. But it's like, why don't you do that? Please, don't be an idiot. Don't be lame. Who would only and simply, want to just smoke only at 420 and no other time? Oh my, come on. I would get inventive and start simply just finding times where it was actually 420. Where is it 420 now? When will it be 420 soon? So that would be the thing. So just in case I'm unable to switch over to the podcast, at least 420 comes up and you're able to see me and I'm sort of doing the podcast. So even in its own little way, special presentation, Mr. Williams, we did the shoe tutorial here. We showed you again, folks, in case I didn't say it, just in case I didn't tell you that these Converse that I have, these All-Star brand here, I've had these for about a year, a little over, I would say about over a year now. I want to say, no, was it over a year? Did I just get these? Let me see. Let me think here. Trying to really consider on this. Did I just get these on my birthday? Yikes. Where did my head go? Because I just got a replacement on my birthday, but that was in November. Okay, so November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So we're about at 8 months now. So I had these for about 8 months, and I managed to keep them up pretty well. Because I mean, white shoes, they're just notoriously difficult. Notoriously difficult. So it's a little DIY for you folks. We're going to try to do some more of that DIY stuff, the hack stuff, the stuff that shows you, hey, you can do whatever you want to do. You want to go and get podcast equipment? Go to Amazon, get yourself some cheap buy podcast equipment. Go, go to Behringer. You can, if you want to even go even more hack life, piece it together, man. Piece it together. You can get a nice little 502 system, no 502 pad, for single service podcasting. You can hook up with a friend like I do, and you do the show and you make your adjustments. You make your, you make your, you make your details and you do what you need to do and you handle it. Or you can do this. You can get yourself a laptop, Chromebook, notebook, whatever that has a camera right on it. And you can sit here and you can talk and you can present little information. You can present pictures. You can do whatever you want to do. Who gives a shit? There's a lot of things that I could do right now. There's a lot of things that I could try to enter into here and whatnot. Who knows? But we've almost done an hour here. So we at least shared some time here when 420 struck. I may be able to maybe I'll do an actual podcast tomorrow. But I at least wanted to go ahead and get an official Mr. Williams Neighborhood out on the Delinquent Studios channel. Hopefully they'll, again, because I can do that. It's my channel. I co-own this channel. I do what I want. So if I want to say, yes, we will be having the Night Owl Lounge coming up on the Delinquent Studios real soon. And we'll also, but we're not going to be forgetting or neglecting Mainframe Media. We will get back to the True Sessions. We'll get back to the Cooper Matrix. We will be getting back to journalism done in a YouTube form. Interviews. I'm going to talk about. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm going to talk. We're going to do interviews. We're going to do features. We're going to do performances of all types. If I can cover it, I'm going to bring the damn thing out here and I'm going to go live. I'm going to go live and I'm going to set up. We're going to set up. We're going to stand here. Everybody's going to be able to, we're going to, I'm going to do cool shit like that, man. I'm going to go out into the world. I'm going to bring my damn Chromebook with me and I'm going to have somebody standing in place right here or something like that. And I'm going to interview them. I'm going to act like I have a microphone. I'm going to interview them so they can feel like they're being interviewed. Or maybe, if they don't want to do that, we can just stand here and we can talk. And they can be interviewed and they know, and they can talk to me and we can talk. And they know that they're being captured right here. Freestyle. Do you want to sing? Do you guys perform? Let me show you guys. Let me show people what's going on in the world here. Give them $1. Let them, I'm going to do that type of thing. Just do it. I ain't Nike. You know what I'm saying? But I could be. But anyway, it's not all about that sometimes. I like to talk about it. I want to build up. I want to build up and want to build up the anticipation on it, folks. But excuse me a moment. Hey, T. Just fine. Yes, we do. Yeah, I guess so. If you're in the mood for that, I guess so. Okay. By any chance, I don't want to put too much more on your plate, but maybe some, cleaners or, spray. Okay, no problem. All right. Yeah. So we just need to make an announcement to just they just need to come they kind of come to us so that we can make sure they're using the stuff correctly and not overdoing it. Okay, love you. Ooh, now see that's also what happens in the neighborhood, folks. Life calls. I'm Mr. Williams. This is me. I am H.Will. Normally, I like to be. I'm going with H.Will because sometimes people say H. Oh my H. So, you know what? Some people call me H.Will. Some people can call me H will win. H will always win. But anyway, always got an ace up my sleeve here, folks. But anyway, my last name is truly Williams. So I truly am like Mr. Rogers. I am Mr. Williams. This is my neighborhood. This is my life. You know, neighborhood is a very nice little cutesy way of saying it, but this is my life, man. That's why I allowed myself to be shown on camera, talking on the phone, talking to my wife, because this is my life. She's never going to want to be on camera anyway. So, it's not like you're going to be seen her at any point in time. But it just at that one point, hey, a little bit of life going on. So that wow, hold on a second, because we're getting to that hour point, folks. Oh my goodness, we're getting to that hour point. And I'm happy about that. I'm happy. But I often thought about it, honestly. I thought about, Maybe for the Mr. Williams neighborhood, I'll do the Mr. Ra. Maybe I won't smoke here, but I'm an anarchist. I'm a modern day anarchist. And that's what the whole neighborhood is all about. So it's just, I mean, I was going to try to avoid it, the experiment to see how that would work, to try to avoid doing the 420 thing here. But this won't be a constant thing. This won't be a constant. But if it comes along, it comes along. I won't try to, I guess I won't try to work so hard to not do it. But it won't be the main focus. Like we're doing a podcast, that's what we're doing. We're smoking. We're hanging out. We're smoking. We're doing what we do. Okay? That's what that is. That's what we're doing. So whatever we're talking about, whatever subject matter, whatever content, whatever we're doing, we're smoking. We're adults. We're not afraid. It is what it is. So gotta fight gotta fight shit, gotta fight shit to have the right to live and be an adult in this world. So we fight. So this is what this is about too. So in its own way, you can't shade being an anarchist. You gotta make anarchy great again. Live free. But being a modern anarchist though mainly extends to your family. Because sometimes your family doesn't always, you're not, even though you're an anarchist, your wife may not be an anarchist. She may embrace a lot of what you embrace. Now I'll give my wife credit. She may not consider herself a full-fledged anarchist as I do. As you can see here, as I currently do, and will always. This is not going anywhere. It's not being covered up. Because take note of this here, folks. Take note of this. This is where my anarchist symbol is. If I pull up this sleeve and you never see this in this position, right above, right above this here, fear no man, then I've completely gone off the rails. And you and you should know that. That is a surefire sign that I've gone off the fucking rails here. Completely. No question about it. So just know that. And also just know that we may start working out some new, because being that we've already gotten past 420 here, cool, we're good. We've contributed something about an hour's worth of time, had some fun, got into 420. Mr. Williams, we're going to do this, man. It's an homage. I'm not an old guy. Mr. Rogers was a cool guy, though. For an older guy, he was very cool. He taught me a lot about being a good person, a good citizen. And I'm always going to big him up for that. Always. Peaceful journey to him. He will always be a person that I will greatly respect. Him and LeVar Burton. As a matter of fact, LeVar Burton is his first name is my middle name. That's why my mother decided to name me, because he has such an impact on her in the movie Roots that she had to put LeVar somewhere in there. So thanks to you, man. Remember now it's LeVar Williams. Docs, whatever, dude. Come on. Do what you gotta do. Come on down to Newport News and see what the truth is. See what it's like. Come on down. You'll run screaming. You're going to the wrong place. You'll run screaming. And if you come to chase me, I will take you into the wrong place. Because the wrong place for me is an even wronger place for you. Trust me on that one. If there's a place out here that I consider a place you don't want to go, you really are not going to want to go there. So, okay. Because we all take our chances, is what you mean. People are certain places out here, man. People can be just absolutely fucking animals, beastly. They see a motherfucker they feel like they can take from, they're gonna take. Just the way it is, folks. So this is Mr. Williams' neighborhood, folks. We try to create a neighborhood around here that maybe it's going to be a challenge this time. The new neighborhood, not so much inside of this neighborhood, inside of the Delinquent Studios neighborhood, but the neighborhood that I've recently moved to. It's going to be a little different than the neighborhood that I was in. We were self-contained. Not a lot of drama went on around there. Not a lot of police going on in our block. You know, not a whole lot of that because everybody was just trying to live their lives, trying to respect each other, just trying to move along, stay out of each other's way. But be friends, be neighborly. Want to speak to people. I've recently even heard that from my former neighbor, sadly, former neighbor, reluctantly former neighbor, told me that the people who moved into our old house, they're like awful because you got to speak to them. It's kind of like, one of those people. It's like, you hate that. But I use that lightly here, but you really don't like that. I don't like people like that. We keep to ourselves overall, but we try to be neighborly and friendly when we can be because we don't have anything against anybody until we have something against someone. This neighborhood is so different. I don't think we could have had our car sit down in front of our house with whatever on it for as long as we wanted to, and nobody would have said anything. But we get out here, we're just trying to cover the car up because we don't have a tarp to cover over it. We try to cover it with blankets and whatnot so that the license plates or the lack thereof wouldn't be shown. So that parking enforcement won't give us tickets or try to tow it in or try to tow our car away from us, but we had a chance to sell it or do what we need to do. Somebody else around here reports us to the city, and we're now having to make a quick decision and get it taken care of or have it towed and then have to be charged for it being towed, for being towed and held in impound. Craziness. But this is what we go through. When you make a new move to a new place, sometimes it's not going to be as ideal as you would like it to be. And you have to make adjustments. We will. We're self-contained. That's one thing that I will give my wife credit for. That's one thing I forgot to mention, her credit. That she's worked with me on when I've told her about the GMOs. I told her about a lot of stuff that was going on. We made a lot of changes to the cereal that we eat, the food that we eat, how we cook things, where we shop, things of that nature. She's definitely worked with me on that to where we can still give kids cereal, but at least we're feeling like we're not basically giving them cereal where we know someone is hiding things from us. It becomes important. So let's get some things settled in, checked into, charged up, all things that we need to do in order to move into. For those of you who might watch here, who might see that I've done a live show here, folks, please stay tuned. Watch out for the notification from Mainframe Media because there will be a Cooper Matrix coming up pretty soon. So please stay with me on this, folks. And we have to close out. It's a great feeling to know you're alive. A great feeling, the fire growing inside. When the truth wakes you up, you will say, I will fight against the tyranny today. It's a great feeling, a great, great feeling that I'll be back when the day is new. I'll have more info to share with you. You'll have conspiracies you'll want to figure out. And I will too. Well, folks, thank you very much as we go out here and we sample the world once again. Get out here to our backyard and our self-contained little nature cage to keep all of the creepy crawlies that are of human form, from coming in and taking the things that we somewhat enjoy and keeping our own little haven out here, folks. Check it out if you can see it. Got to get the mongoose restored, folks. Those of you guys who love BMX like I do, I've kept this old mongoose frame. Got to get it restored. Got to get it back to pristine condition. That's my goal. But thank you very much, folks, and thank you for supporting Delinquent Studios. Thank you for supporting Mainframe Media. Thank you for supporting 7 Day Productions. 7 Day, the MC, the artist, the MC, the producer, the engineer. Thank you for supporting H.Will, the writer, the journalist, the man about town, the modern day anarchist. Make anarchy great again, people. Make anarchy great again. See you soon.